Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na Tuesday, number 16 day for the month of May 2022. My name na Capo Daniel, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonian Governing Council, aka Sense Pass King, una own countryman. Una welcome to our daily podcast, a program where they bring meaningful information for una, fact-based analysis for help we navigate this journey to our independence, freedom of the former British Southern Cameroons, freedom for Ambazonia. Good people of the Southern Cameroons, citizens of Ambazonia. Yesterday, on Monday, as we do ghost town, they do a country Sunday across Ambazonia. For Douala, inside La République du Cameroun, for their littoral province. For some quarter, where they call them say Kumasi, Bale. For inside Douala, La République du Cameroun, they don't surprise Ambazonia and their IDP them, where they stay for that quarter, with mass demolitions of houses, without any notification. Small churches them, business houses them, where Ambazonia and them, many of them, when are IDPs, refugee them, inside La République du Cameroun, they don't be destroyed. La République they claim say most of the houses them for that area, na houses the way they don't build them without any permit. Na such houses them for such poor neighborhoods them, we don't accommodate plenty Ambazonian refugee them, where they don't cross into La République du Cameroun, running away from war. This one na the third similar situation inside Douala, where Ambazonian refugees hops that don't be targeted for demolitions without any notification. Similar trends them, they go on for inside Yaoundé. Ambazonians refugees inside the enemy's house, make them be watchful, as the risk for genocide it be ever present for within them as they did for inside La République. While for inside Ambazonian War Council, intelligence did come say La République du Cameroun they ran dispatch huge sum of money. This time not be for their politicians them as they usually do them, but this time for their colonial SDOs and DOs. The news did come say all the DOs and SDO them damn convocate top colonial government officials them for force them for participate for this 20th May calamity across Ambazonian territory. Ambazonian citizens them be on the notice say this time, this 20th May, La République du Cameroun they will go all out for celebrate in any shape or form, for do propaganda and also for hire our people or sometime forcing them at gunpoint. All Ambazonian forces are thereby notified to gather intelligence to anybody that will choose the fear of the colonial master or bribery over the life and the livelihood of the Ambazonian people to participate in this insult to our people. There shall be consequences. All checkpoints that have been mounted across our territory will be 1 week carrying out operations to identify members who are transporting themselves out of areas where they might have participated in such calamity day of celebration. Ambazonians had been naive to think that this war against this occupation is a one against the Cameroon military alone. No, the enemy within is even more dangerous than the enemy without. We will fight the enemies within, the traitors and the collaborators, as vigorously as we will fight our occupiers and their military on our streets. Anybody in Ambazonia who will take part in 20th day celebration, a celebration of a calamity that befell our people on that same day, 20th May 1972, will not go unnoticed. And their actions will definitely have consequences. No matter how many traitors, no matter how many collaborators are hired, are intimidated to play this role, that amount of people will be chased to make sure there is consequences. Ambazonian life matters. Ambazonian dignity is paramount. Ambazonian sovereignty is paramount above every individual right. The collective will, the collective interest must prevail in Ambazonia. Come son, come raid, by blood, by fire, by force, it shall prevail. Our forces will not have rest. Our officials will not have rest until justice is done for Ambazonia, both from the external enemy and from the enemy within. The South Africans chopped off hands of their own who greeted their colonial masters. Even the French and the British did the same. The Americans are no different. The Ambazonian people will not be any different. Our people are thereby reminded that on this 20th May, it is a complete lockdown day across Ambazonia. Our citizens are expected to observe a stay-home protest against this day. Nobody should be outside. I mean, nobody, no fly should be outside for whatsoever reason. Stay at your home. Allow space for our forces who will be carrying out sniping operations across our territory. Monitor those who go out. Report anybody who is trying to organize or force students, any teacher, any official, any collaborators, any blackleg that you know is involved with the alien government to organize this day that insult our people, a day of fraud. Report them immediately. No matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, justice shall prevail. This year, the mad king of La République du Cameroon, Paul Biya, will not be in his country to celebrate this day, as Idambi carried into Europe for possibly medical check-up. Idambi almost 3 weeks ago with a personal doctor for certain King Paul Biya. He be visit La République for doing medical check-up. Following the recommendation of a doctor, according to our sources, he then go for follow-up treatment for Europe. Ambazonian must continue to monitor the mad king and be ready for the grand plan, the grand takeover of our territory. There can be a failed in our progress in terms of preparation for the takeover with the synchronization simulation with some of our population, but we'll continue to work hard no matter the condition. Njangai back, it go bend according to that circumstances. We will adapt, we will continue and do whatever it takes. Even if we fall, we shall rise. Resist, we must, and we must, until Cameroon is defeated and leave our territory, until Ambazonia attains freedom and independence. There is no plan B. Independence means independence. Ambazonia will not be the first to walk down this road. Definitely, we will not be the last. We go still go back for the speech and town hall where Joseph Wirba, Honorable Joseph Wirba, he do for inside Germany for Stuttgart. The event will be broadcast live for SCB television channel, the television channel for the IG of Seseko Ayuktabi. One go wonder, why will SCBC be organizing a show that has repeatedly been used to insult their leader, to insult their organization? It just baffles me when I think about this. Honorable Wirba have spent his entire diaspora existence to denigrate, insult the IG, calling it the biggest mistake Ambazonia have ever made. And indeed, he did not fail to do the same. He had called the IG members, the group of South Africa and the group in America, as the axis of evil in Ambazonian liberation. Is there no shame for our people in the SCBC? How can one continue to organize something that insults itself? Is it that they're so desperate for anything to hold on to gain political relevance, even if it means something that will turn back to be an insult to them? Indeed, Honorable Wirba delivered in Germany. As an independent observer, looking at the speech of Honorable Wirba, if this was a free Ambazonia where we are already practicing democracy and preparing for presidential or parliamentary or prime minister election, I would have said I will give that speech a 100% approval, but we are at war. This is not a time for campaign. Was Honorable Wirba campaigning for some presidential election, or he doesn't really know what he was doing? That was the impression I've gotten after taking a second look of his speech made in Stuttgart, Germany.
Come to ask you the toughest question that Ambazonians have ever been called to respond to. I would like to make one last comment. That my opposition to government was partly because I told them that when you form something called a government, all the people internationally who could sympathize with your movement, they run away from you. Why? Because they have diplomatic relations with the oppressor. So if you start by imitating that oppressor, you send away all your friends. So you have nobody who can sympathize with you.
So una dey hear na Honorable Wirba that in an IG organized event, the talk say when you create a so-called government, you go make all man way for fee help you or one the way they want help you for not be able to help you simply because they get diplomatic relationship with the Republic of Cameroon government. When you get two government where they exist at the same time over a particular territory, international community, the protocol, now say if you only work with one, you know if you work with two. So it'd be wrong for start by creating a government. Rather, people they need for act within movements so that they feel engage the international community as some people the way they be aggrieved, not as people them way they get a state already. But this one, I think we would already know. You cannot keep beating a corpse. You cannot keep killing a dying horse or a dead horse without move past this argument about the creation of a government. We know, say the Seseko and his group, the Sako and his group, the Anu and their group, they will never ever change. They have demonstrated with time that no matter the damage this ideology or this wrong have made or have caused our people, including the death of soldiers, the confusion of ground zero, these individuals will always put their ego over the interests of the collective. There is nothing we can do about it. The least we can do, if you really have to do, is to call a spade a spade. Call these individuals who are holding Ambazonian population hostage to let go my people. Let my people go. Seseko, Chris Anu, and Sako, let my people go, was the message that we could expect from Honorable Wirba, not a continual batching and making of a case that all of us already know, without providing any solution for the dynamic we have had with the hostage taking of the liberation movement by these movements. Ambazonians should know that our enemy, primary enemy, is La Republique. We can do as much with ourselves, but we should never forget that the whole existence of certain groups to continue projecting the idea that we are divided might be the objective of these individuals, because it serves only one purpose, that of our enemy. Only La Republique is taking advantage. As a matter of fact, La Republique is very comfortable with the divide we have. The more we continue to bang on the case of the wrongness of the IG, the more we continue to demonstrate that we are too divided for anybody, including our enemy, to discuss with. We must abandon it. We are, for the most part, agree that these people are three different groups, but they are groups that have been identified as existence. One IG cannot claim legitimacy over another. At the end of the day, all of them are ill-conceived and all of them have no legal foundation in their creation.
To look stupid. No human being wants to look like an idiot. Therefore, my opposition to the government was, when you start and an opposition forms, and if something happens to that government, then we are going to have broken camps and people running in different directions and saying different things. So I advise, don't do it. Because the narrow group mentality is the most dangerous thing.
Yes, the narrow group mentality that we call Ambazamzam. Yes, the advice had been given not to create a government. Yes, even the lawyer that was signed up by Dr. Carson Anyangwe in America advised Ambazonian publicly, do not create a government. But now the so-called government have been created. Government, as expected and as predicted by Shea Kavi, have turned into children, have delivered children, and we now have 3 of them, maybe 6 of them, because each of those ones have 2 separate camps that claims supremacy. One may want to ask, was Honorable Joseph Wirba not the Vice President XXX, as mentioned by Seseko Ayuktabi in his numerous groupings, his numerous meetings he has had with other organizations? Honorable Joseph Wirba was and is the IG's XXX Vice President. We have seen his notes. We have seen Seseko's note. Seseko have verbally confirmed to all Ambazonian activists, I mean all Ambazonian organizations, that Honorable Wirba was his vice. Who is fooling who is lying who? It doesn't matter. The generation of Honorable Wirba is a generation of failure, is a generation of primitivity and backwardness. I remember Frundi, when our forces arrested and seized into custody some trucks belonging to Babandampole's tea estate as we were trying to close it down. The idea of Frundi was that why can't we sell that vehicle in the black market and take the money to buy guns? Why should we destroy it? These people have no logic. They don't know how things work in the modern days. These are people who do not know why our soldiers gather brasseries drinks and destroy them. They think somehow they could be better off by drinking the same thing that they say that they have banned. These people are cut off. The Ambazonian people should understand the generation of the Honorable Wirba, the Frundi, the Frunjonso are all a lost generation. They failed to rise up and fight. When they rose up in the All Anglophone Conference in Boya and in Bamenda, they were all full of politics. The politics from the rejection that happened when Gojidinka established the Ambazonian Republic. All of them turned their back against it. The generations even of the Pa Fongalafo, when the Ambazonian had even the third conference, all of them refused and rejected the name Ambazonia. This is the first time that Honorable Joseph Wirba have called the name Ambazonia in public. And even when he called it Ambazonia, he called it 10 times Southern Cameroons. Previously, he had called it West Cameroon. Why did Honorable Wirba, despite his courage, not resign from La République du Cameroon? One can only speculate. Definitely, we know that the issue of receiving pensions, salaries are always at the back of the mind of that generation. A generation of people who wants their stomach. The generations Peter Mafani Musonge, a generation of scratch my back and scratch your own. There shall be nothing good that will come out of this generation. Even our own hero, the person who inspired us with our history, Dr. Carson Anyangwe, who teach us how to challenge authority, when he came out and put out public statement that the Ambazonian Governing Council did not come out with a formal to unite with his group, the IG, when it was a lie, when even it was produced as a lie, when he was criticized, he exited all Ambazonian groups. For what? Somebody fighting for the dying people will run away simply because he has been criticized. How can you run away from criticism when you are the father who have given birth to us all, the many people who have the rights today and the courage to criticize the system that have subjugated our own people? When Honorable Wirba, he turned with big books, with graph on the screen to explain to Ambazonian people that every people in the Southern Cameroons in Germany should go back and create a restoration council. And imagine that if you create these thousands of restoration council, you will become registered member of an imaginary revolutionary group that is fighting for Ambazonian independence. Is that not delusion? Is that not the same dream that the IG have fallen into? Where are we going to? Why can our heroes not stand up for effective solution for our soldiers on the ground? What are they expecting? Our soldiers who are looking up to people like Honorable Wirba, who sat quiet while General Chacha was being misused and brainwashed by Chris Ano. Why can't they help us to address the things that we face today on our street? The issues of the Cameroon subjugation and their war against our people. The issue of the divide, the causing of one soldier to go and kill his brother. Why can't they speak to our soldiers directly for them to collaborate and abandon those who are lying that one group is fighting for La République and one group have not? Especially when we have evidence of the contrary. What we need today in Ambazonia, more than what we ever needed, is unity. Unity from the top. We need the Ambazonian Governing Council and the group of Seseko Ayoktabi to be able to collaborate. Amongst these two groups, only one have put into writing concrete proposal for a form to end the disunity, the form to end the misunderstanding and the mispresentation and the infighting. You know that one. I will leave it to your imagination. God bless you. Capo Daniel, signing off.